Position of president, is pleased to submit the following nominations. For president, Mr. Darren Crenshaw. First vice president, Mr. George Nix. Third vice president, Ms. Georgianne Stinson-Dockery. And secretary, Mrs. Maya Robinson.
We've heard the report from the committee. Could we get a motion to accept that report tonight, please?
I move that we accept the report from the nominating committee.
Get a second? Did I hear a second?
Second. Yeah.
It's been moved and seconded. It's been moved and seconded that we accept the nomination and committee report. All in favor of that, say aye.
Wait, did you get an opportunity to ask questions about it?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Are there any questions about the nominating committee at this point?
I have questions about it. I understand that through the, the manual on branch election procedures, 2016, and on page 5 of that procedure, it says that the nominating committee is actually supposed to get an updated list of current officers, members of the executive committee, a number of terms served, membership eligibility, and attendance record. And that information was not afforded to the nominating committee. And because that information wasn't afforded to the nominating committee, there were some things that were not able to be verified by the nominating committee. One of those things that was not able to be verified is actually the membership of the individuals that are seeking office. So there was no additional information as far as attendance of individuals who were seeking office. There was no information about when they became NAACP members. There's no information with regards to their eligibility, number of terms served, or any of this information. And this is some valuable information that actually should have been, it's required, it's a part of the procedures, and it was supposed to be required and viewed by the committee, and it wasn't. And because of that, many of the people that were a part of the committee had already made up in their mind who they were going to select even before the interviewing process even began. Matter of fact, one of the nominating committee members who was on the committee actually said, I already know who's going to be voting for who. And then the person listed out who was going to be voting for whom on a piece of paper. And then when the votes came, it was exactly that. So there was some bias that was done, there was some bias that was a part of that. And I think that if this information had been provided to the committee, it could have been a more fair and balanced procedure in it. And that's one of the reasons why this is a requirement. It's a requirement of that procedure. And I'm trying to understand why that was not included, since it is a requirement of that. And how we're going to go about doing, what are we going to do to provide a solution here?
Madam President, that information was provided to every member of the nominating committee. They received all of the officers of the committee. They received their name. They received how many meetings that they missed and how many years that they were on it. I don't know. I explained, there were some people that didn't understand how it went, and I remember explaining it to them. One of them was Mr. Donnie Snow. He didn't understand how I had it set up, but I used the officer's report that we turn into the state and that goes to the nationals. I used that officer's report and I put the information there. And another person that I explained it to was Mrs. Stinson. When she received the report, she was like, well, what does this mean? So that was given out. I don't know where our member got the information that they didn't receive it. There may have been some people that didn't understand it because it was given out at our first meeting and people kind of ignored it. But if I need to have someone from that committee.
Well, thanks for your comment.
Yeah. Point of information, I have talked to the state president as well as understanding this. I wasn't a part of this nomination committee. I served on the last one. And as far as I understand, the policy procedure should be the same, and we have the same secretary. Everybody, I mean, I don't know how anyone could make a statement like we're discussing because it's anecdotal. You don't know who got what, but it is the secretary of the branch responsibility to get that list to the individuals, and everything else is mute. How people feel about this or that, that's the body will decide what's right or wrong in terms of that. So there's no egregious behavior being done in terms of that part.
Let me also add that anybody that's been a member of the branch for 6 months can run for an office. And so it has nothing to do with how many committees, how many executive committees you have attended. Has nothing at all to do with the number of meetings that you have come to. It's how long you have been a member.
Again,
Wait to be recognized. Wait to be recognized.
Okay, your last
So
one.
she, because they didn't nominate her.
again, the procedures ask for an updated list. It does not ask for anything within the last 6 months. It asks for an updated list. And in that updated list, it's supposed to provide a list of all current officers, all members of the executive committee, a number of terms that they all have served, the membership eligibility, and an attendance record, period, for these last 2 years.
Stated and understood.
That is what, wait a minute, because no, I haven't sat down and I have not interrupted you. And so that is what is supposed to be provided. Because I have been afforded to look at some of the information, there is some questions with regards to individuals' eligibility and when they became members of NAACP and if they were members at the time that they were selected. This is from information that has come down from the national attendance. So that information, I would like to just, if there is a report that was done, then it can be shared with the general membership since it's a part of the procedural process.
Yeah. What did your husband do? We're down to one card.
Previous motion.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Who wants to accept it? Those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Now, we need an election committee that's gonna run the election and do that. And hopefully everyone that has someone on the ballot would have someone in mind that they have to serve on the committee.
Excuse me, President.
Yes, please.
I think this is the time that we take the nominations from the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, let me just, I'd like to, if I can approach, I'm not in court, am I?
If you can approach your bench,